Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, with your numerology forecast for the 5 personal year from May 2023. So, if you happen to be new to numerology or you're unsure of what your personal year might be, take just one moment. Either go to the description below. There's a very quick manual way to calculate your personal year, or you could go to feliciabender.com, click on monthly forecast. There is a calculator there where you could calculate your personal year number. The reason I say this up front is because this forecast is based on your personal year number, not your life path number. So those are two entirely different things in numerology. We just want to make sure you are at the right place at the right time, listening to the right forecast. All right. So, with that said, we're going to dive right in. And if you are in a 5 personal year, May is a 1. It is a number 1 month for you. So, the personal year is what you are moving through all year long. And the personal month number gives you an idea of the point of destination, what's going on specifically during these 4 weeks within that container of the broader trajectory that your personal year holds for you. So for this month in your 5 personal year, this is the month to remain open to spontaneous opportunities and happy surprises. Sounds good to me. Sounds very good to me. So, what we are going to do is start out looking at circling back more or less and to remind you about the key elements that are part of the themes that you are working with all year long in your 5 personal year. So, I do like to describe the personal year as knowing the theme to your party. So much more fun that way, right? And I do think that it's fun and valuable to look at it exactly in that way because it really is as if you are showing up to a particular party for 12 months, right? So if you're showing up somewhere for an entire 12 months, most certainly, wouldn't you like to know what kind of what's expected, right? What's the theme? Is it a baby shower, right? A birthday party? Maybe it's a bachelorette party, a memorial service, a little bit of a different vibe, right? Drinking party with charades, who knows? But hopefully, with numerology, you will know that is the point of understanding the nuances and the intricacies and what is being supported during your personal year. So don't show up to your year in the the wrong party with the wrong outfit on. So try not to, because it's a disaster. It's a disaster that way. We've all had that, right? We all kind of show up to our year thinking that it kind of should be more of the same, and it isn't. So it's nice to know what is different about it. So for you in your 5 personal year, the key themes are more or less okay. We don't have all day to talk about this, so we're going to keep it brief. And yet, it's all about exploring and embracing a sense of freedom on every level in every realm, right? I talk about this a lot during the 5 personal year. It's like, what are you working on with your levels of freedom? Is it financial freedom, freedom with your health, through your health? Working on your health. Anything that's an issue there. Maybe it's relationships. It could be other levels of freedom that you want to explore and that you want to bring into your reality. So those are things that really come up front and center during a 5 personal year. This is a year to face your fears. The 5 is about freedom and fearlessness and fun, adventure, all of those things. And yet there's always going to be the oppositional pole. There's always going to be something that's going to counterpoint for that. And so it is often a time where you feel confined, restricted, tethered, as though you can't break free of something. And that will elicit, of course, whatever fears that go hand in hand with that. So those are things that come into play for you to just really I might sound a little bit corny, but when we face those fears, when we really, stare them down, and they kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West, they usually just dissolve. I'm melting, right? And yet until then, it's the biggest monstrosity of fear that we could possibly imagine that keeps us stuck, right? Keeps us in that stuck, fearful place. So overall, though, the five personal year is a time to travel. It's a time to have fun and be adventurous. Get out your sensual side, up level your your dating profile, or if you're in a relationship to get some sizzle going in that area of your life. And yet overall, it's also a time for change. The five is the number of change. So mid-year we'll be talking about that more, and particularly in September, that's when things really start to peak in terms of what's gonna pivot for you in your five personal year. So what I do love about numerology is that it does offer us the key elements that are always at play, and that are always supporting us, offering us these opportunities. So if we do know the themes, if we do know the energies, and resonate with those, even if we don't, it's happening. And yet, if we can put a framework around it, we can focus and intentionally use that supportive energy to our benefit. As I always, will say pretty simplistically, either we can use the energy for something that we want to use it for, or the energy can use us. So we've all had that experience, right? It's like, what just happened? What just happened here? Can I do a redo? Can I have a replay? Something like that. So anyway, that's why we do these forecasts, not so much as a forecast, simply as a supportive element, so you can have a framework around how to really optimize your experience. So you are coming down from a month where your cage may have been a bit rattled with some unexpected transitions. You might feel as though the rug has been pulled out from under you in April. I don't know if anyone had anything dramatically shift, yet that was a definitely a shifting point for you. Hopefully, you had the wherewithal to stand on your feet after that and get your bearings, right? Now you're bridging into May, which is a time of new beginnings. It's a time of initiation, really exerting your independence. This is a month guided by the energy of the number one. So May will bring in a sense of release, kind of this opening of a gate for you. Last month again was clearing the plate so that that gate could open up and have something fresh come in. So, in fact, this is a time where you can see things in a way that you have not seen them before, right? The veil can be lifted right now, meaning that you'll really expand your thoughts concerning things you hadn't even imagined before. And not only that, you'll actually be receptive and open to very different possibilities right now. You're in a 5 year, and then the 1 month that you're in is really going to push that envelope, going to open some doors, going to pivot your perspectives, all of those things. If you're open, ready, willing, and able to change, to have those shifts happen and bring them into reality. So after clearing out space last month, now is the time to focus on something new, some new kind of trajectory that you have in front of you. Do you ever have that experience where you just can't even wrap your brain around something, like just can't even? And that, like, let's just say maybe having twins, moving, getting a divorce, changing jobs, something you could not even fathom, right? The how it would impact your life in any kind of realistic sense, right? And then suddenly something happens, and your mental, physical, emotional bodies finally kind of converge, and then you're able to somehow embrace or accept the change in a very profound, very real way. I don't know if I'm getting a little elusive here, but it's that energy that you're feeling right now of, wow, I never thought that would be a possibility, but here it is. Oh, well, how would that feel? How would that look? How could that possibly play out? Maybe you're being offered a new job in a different country that you've never even considered, you've never even visited before. Or I don't know. There are all kinds of examples that I could use here, but you get the picture. So this could be something that is coming into your experience this month in May. So your renewed energy carries you along for the ride during this month, combined with some unusual support from an unexpected source. So don't second guess. Go with your intuition. Do your research. The thing about the five is sometimes it can make us impulsive. Um, that energy to have that to be unfocused or impulsive, and so sometimes you got to kind of sit with it for just a moment longer than you think you might want to in a five personal year, just to make sure that you're not abandoning something before it's even had a chance to land, right? So even though it may be tempting to just kind of jump into the fray here, do take the time to focus so that you can move ahead constructively with some accomplishment, right? After doing some practical investigation, some study along the way to kind of bring it together. Impulsive action will only result in a longer, more arduous detour. Sorry to say it, but hey, there it is. It's true. So, this is the time to bank on your individual vision and act with an independent flair. Of course, this element just adds fuel to the fire of uncertainty and unpredictability that's already the cornerstone of your ever changing kind of roller coaster of a five personal year, right? So, this is a reminder that even though the five personal year is full of changing conditions, lots of drama, lots of stuff, right? Impatience and impulsiveness can be the Achilles heel here. So, as my seventh grade art teacher used to bellow. I remember her. Boy, I can see her in my mind's eye right now. And she used to say, "Haste makes waste, people." Yes, she did. She did. She called her students people um, back then. Oh my gosh, I honestly haven't thought of her in a while, but there it is. So that's coming through in my on the screen of my mind. So even though I still find that saying more than annoying, certainly it could be your momentary mantra in May. Haste makes waste. Okay. So the highest and best of the energy of the five is freedom through self discipline. And the freedoms and changes that you seek this year will come to fruition when a certain level of commitment and follow through is also a major part of the mix. I know that it kind of goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, because that needs to be a gentle reminder during a five personal year. So I would also predict that there will be some beautiful surprises when you're prepped and ready for opportunities and just open when they surface. So think of it this way. So you know that they're the people who are waiting for their big break, right? You know these people. They're an actor, they're a singer, they're an artist, they're a writer, they're whatever it is. It doesn't have to be the creative professions, it could be something else, but that's often how this works. So they'll tell you again and again that they are, I'm an exquisite artist, I'm an award-winning writer, I'm a Grammy worthy singer, right? So they'll kind of pump that up, but then you ask to hear their demo or see their portfolio or read their manuscript, and they're like, well, I mean no one's given me a job, no one's given me the opportunity. I mean it's, I've got it in my head, but right. So there's nothing that they've actually produced. It's all sitting there as a kind of, fantasy in their head. So think about all of those videos of people somehow getting called up on stage. Have you seen those? I mean, these are some of my favorite things to watch. Guilty pleasure, I got to tell you, but to sing with Michael Bublé, right? Or maybe crush a guitar solo with Dave Grohl, or sing a duet with Kristen Chenoweth. So there are all these people and many of them are young people. They get called up on stage during this event, and they were somehow ready for this opportunity, and they grabbed it with everything that they had. So they knew the lyrics to the songs, they knew the music, they blazed through it without any nerves that were, that were discernible overall. And they got up there, they risked humiliation, something going wrong, but they they did it like it was a actual performance that they had been prepping for, right? And they even didn't do just a decent job. They like took the stage. They took command, and they really, really took advantage of that once in a lifetime opportunity. And so, why do I mention this here? Oh, the traverser of the five personal year, because the moral of the story is that you can very much benefit from this year or every year, but particularly this year and the month of May is this: don't just dream it, be it, do it, and most importantly, be prepared. That is really, if I can shine a light of neon onto something, it is that. It is be prepared and act this month. Because wouldn't it have been a sad kick in the shins for these folks to finally get a chance to be on stage with their idols? And yet, when they got there, they didn't know the lyrics of the song, or they folded under the pressure. I mean, wouldn't that have been just the thing that you would have regretted for the rest of your life? So, just like that, make sure you're prepped and ready to go. If you're offered some kind of spontaneous opportunity that you've been prepping for in your mind, now you need to really, really prep for it. Okay. So, your task this entire year resides in responsible freedom. And that means doing the work, being prepared, and also, once again, the biggest, wonderful, most amazing part of it is to be prepared for the happy surprises along the way. All right, that is your forecast for May, all of you in your five personal year. For those of you who are numerology curious, you can go to my website, feliciabender.com. Lots of free resources there. I do give private readings. There's charts, there's courses, all kinds of things if you are very interested in seeing what numerology has to offer you. So, with that said, I look forward to meeting you and greeting you back here at the end of the month to see what June has in store for you.